Today we want to talk about the 4 primary ways of embalming. When we think about embalming a dead body, one of the primary ways of doing that is called cavity embalming. And in this type of embalming, the embalming fluid is directly placed into 3 cavities in the body: the abdominal, the pelvic, and the thoracic, usually using a trocar or other such method. The second form of embalming is called hypodermic. This form of embalming is used to treat tissues that cannot be reached in other methods. Another method that we're going to talk about at the bottom here, number 4, is called vascular embalming. It's the primary way that most embalming takes place, where the vascular system of the body is used to introduce the embalming fluid throughout the body, but there are places where even the vascular system can't get, and therefore hypodermic embalming is used to treat those tissues that the vascular system cannot treat. The third form of embalming is surface embalming. And here, the agents used to preserve the body are applied directly to the tissues themselves, usually the outer skin, things like this, to preserve them. So surface embalming embalms by direct application of the preservative to the tissue. And then finally, the fourth form mentioned earlier is vascular. This is the primary method of embalming, where the blood circulation system, the vascular system of the body, is used. The embalming fluid is introduced into the vascular system, and using the blood vessels, it is then spread throughout the body. So vascular being the primary method, surface preserving tissues that the vascular can't get to, hypodermic, once again using a smaller needle to get to the areas, the tissues that can't be gotten to through the vascular, and then finally cavity embalming, where the fluid is introduced to the abdominal, pelvic, or thoracic cavities. Now when we think about embalming, not only the methods of embalming, we need to remember that the embalmer himself is exposed to hazard in this process. The greatest hazard that the embalmer faces is the embalming fluid itself. It is a strong irritant to skin, eyes, nose, lungs. It can cause problems to all of these tissues, and so wearing protective gear is very important. However, even the protective gear, which helps prevent damage from the embalming fluids, can itself pose a problem. It can be very hot, restrictive, and cause its own issues and problems. Along with that, the deceased body carries pathogens, perhaps, infections, or other biological hazards that need to be guarded against as well. So remember the 4 main methods of embalming: cavity, hypodermic, surface, vascular. And when the embalming process is taking place, the embalmer himself needs to take great care to protect himself from the hazards in the process, from the embalming fluids, biological, infectious hazards from the body, and even the protective gear and some of the problems that it can introduce to the embalmer's health. If you'd like to know more about this, we encourage you to click on the link below this video and study further.